Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Redden, and I shall be your host for this evening. Welcome back to Tristram. So we're going to continue our series on Darkest Dungeon. On last episode, we completed the tutorial. Thankfully, didn't lose either Ronaldo or Dismas, and we acquired 2 new people. And we went on our first official mission, I guess. That went rather smoothly, except for the fact that we're Lart over here. Got a decent bit of stress. It's kind of unfortunate you have to open this up in order to see exactly how much stress they have, but 63 is more than I would feel comfortable taking back into the field. So now we're gonna go ahead and take care of the town business. Again, if you would like to skip through this, I'll most likely include some annotation to allow you to do so. Otherwise, stay a while and listen. Let's go through the stagecoach, see what we got. First thing I like that I see very much is we got a Hellion. Now, I really love Hellions. They're so good. They got nerfed kind of hard in the breakthrough. This whole self minus damage minus dodge is something that's relatively new. I actually never got to play around with the pre-nerf Hellions, but the post-nerf Hellions are still very strong. So I can only imagine that pre-nerf they would just beyond ridiculous. So yeah, I definitely love Hellions. Steady, it's decent. Nothing really to write home about, but whatever. I'll take it. And no negative quirks, so that's definitely nice. Which is actually something I forgot to do with my earlier guys. I forgot to look at if they had any negative quirks or not. We'll definitely be taking her. We'll actually be taking probably everyone. As you can see here, we have 5 of 9. This is our roster size. You can expand this in the stagecoach down here, but right now I don't necessarily need to. Excuse me, I don't necessarily need to. So let's check these guys. The yips. Yeah, -5 accuracy. That doesn't necessarily mean much, and maybe it isn't much, but I really don't like it. I do value accuracy very much. If the RNG is something that bothers you in this game, then things like this are things that you need to consider, because minus accuracy means more RNG, higher chance for you to miss. That is something that bothers me a lot. I'm not gonna, just go ahead and toss him away right now, but he's not. And by the way, you can get rid of quirks like that later on. It's just that I don't know if it's necessarily worth the gold to do so for him or her. I'm not really sure what gender the Plague Doctors are. I'll probably get that confused too. We have a new Plague Doctor available here, and so he has the Plague Grenade and the Blinding Gas, which is very nice. It's basically, it also targets the back 2 ranks, but it stuns. You can see the 2 red circles are connected. That's how you know it's an AoE from the description. I would like that, honestly. Stunning the back 2 can be often very effective. He doesn't have the heal. He also has the stab, but he has this. Now, this is 15% damage buff. Honestly, I'm not sure. It's debatable whether it's better to buff someone to have plus 15% damage or just have someone who's dealing damage themselves. I don't know. I mean, we'll take him. For now, we have the room to take absolutely everybody, and I think I'll go ahead and do so.
What better laboratory than the blood-soaked battlefield?
I'm just rearranging them for OCD's sake. You might notice a fair bit of that as we go along. By the way, I'm not actually diagnosed with that OCD. I'm just kind of joking around. So we have an occultist over here. This is another potential healer, but he's a little bit odd if you don't know how he works. His heal can also apply to bleed. The thing is that your bleed resistance is factored into that, so most of the time he'll probably not apply the heal, but then his heal is also RNG based because he can heal from 0 to 10, which that does mean that this spell can potentially heal for 0 and apply a bleed, so you essentially just did 3 damage to your own characters. I don't like the occultist at the beginning necessarily. Later on, you can get items that reduce his chance to apply bleeds, and your characters get higher bleed resist anyway. So later on, he becomes becomes nearly impossible for him to apply the bleed, and he becomes more viable in my opinion. But I'm not really a great fan of him anyway because it's so RNG based. And again, if you're trying to avoid RNG, look for things that are consistent, and that's exactly how I like to do things. I will take him anyway. We have the room. There's no reason to not to, as far as I can see right now.
One must know it.
So we have another Crusader. I do like Crusaders very much. Not a big fan of this guy's skills. I really don't like Battle Heal. This is essentially, if you're going to take a no healer run and you want to take a Crusader, it wouldn't be a terrible idea to give him the Battle Heal in case someone in your group is put on death's door. You can just do this and pop them right back out and maybe save their life. Otherwise, it's just pathetic. Like, he does a huge amount of damage. It doesn't make sense to me to skip doing this much damage to heal this much. So usually I completely disregard that skill. This is kind of in the same territory. Claustrophobia, don't care about. Bad Gambler, don't really care about. I don't do gambling. Claustrophobia is fine. I actually have no idea if this even does anything at the moment. I've never really seen anything attributed to it, so I don't know. I don't necessarily mind. On Guard is mediocre. This guy in general is just mediocre. That would be my overall assessment of him. Maybe even slightly worse than mediocre, but again, we'll take him anyway because we can.
Sword arm anchored by holy purpose.
So now we have unlocked the Abbey and the Tavern. These are your stress relief buildings. And
fresh kegs,
as you can see here, you have 3 different options. This over here is a lovely caretaker. He'll basically get in your way from time to time. He'll just randomly take up one of the 3 available slots in any particular stress relief option. And at the beginning, when you only have 1 slot, that could be a problem. If, say, he's blocking the gambling hall and you have someone that can only gamble to stress relief, it can be annoying, but usually it's a minor inconvenience at most. So the bar, you drink. Gambling hall, you gamble. Brothel, well, probably know what happens in a brothel. These things, the ones at the top are cheaper, but they reduce less stress. And then as you go further down, you reduce more stress, but they cost more. I have heard that at the beginning, there's not really much of a difference, like when they're all level 1. But as you upgrade them, there definitely is. This one will stress relief for 70. I think this one's like 85 or something like that. And then the one at the bottom is 100. So at the bottom, if they are at 100% stress, afflicted, whatever, they'll go down to 0 stress, which is worth it in my opinion. When you fully upgrade them, this one's like 700 gold, this one's 1,000 or something to that effect. The difference is negligible, so not too much of a concern, but personally, I prefer the Abbey.
The cobwebs have been dusted, the pews set straight. The Abbey calls to the faithful.
Why? Well, because of this. You see, when you upgrade the Abbey, which I probably should have shown the Tavern takes Portrait, take my word for it. And this uses bus, this little statues. Everything uses crests pretty much, but you tend to get a lot of those anyway, so it's kind of a moot point because everything competes with everything. But the Abbey using bus means that it competes with the Sanatorium, which is the building where you get rid of negative traits, but it does not compete with either the Guild or the Blacksmith. The Blacksmith uses deeds, the Guild uses portraits, which means the Tavern directly conflicts with the Guild. Later on, if you already have the Guild fully upgraded, that obviously wouldn't matter. But in the beginning, I find that I'm usually starving. Well, I mean, I probably sound like I've played through this game 50 times. I've only really done one very long playthrough. I made it to like 75 weeks so far. And I've restarted a couple times, but, early on, it does feel like you're starving for heirlooms. So you don't really want to be trying to upgrade the Tavern and the Guild at the same time, especially because the Guild is so important. And we'll discuss more about that when we actually unlock it. Right now, both the Tavern and both the Guild and the Blacksmith are locked. So we gotta go do some more missions. But I am gonna upgrade the Abbey. Now, yes, it does compete with the crest, but I think it's worth it just to do a little bit of this. I would prefer to do the. Although, you know what? Right now, I don't need the increased efficiency, and the cost difference is not going to be very great. It's 1,000 to begin with, like a full rank, fully maxed, it goes down to like 700. So for this one, I'm just going to go ahead and something I hadn't considered is if I put her to stress relief, that means I'm not going to have the Vestal available, obviously. So I'm going to have to depend on the cultist for healing, which is not necessarily what I wanted. That is a problem. But I believe it's a problem I'm going to have to live with, because if I take her, she's probably going to stress out. This is where the game starts to become a little bit more tricky, when you have to make decisions as to, you have a hero that's kind of stressed. Do you take her out because you need the heals, or do you stress relieve her? It's tough. Not necessarily, the answer is not always necessarily going to be obvious, so I'm going to go ahead and just stress relieve her. I'll take the occultist. Hopefully it doesn't go terribly wrong, but it might. Hopefully not. Okay, so on that note, I'm kind of more inclined to take the people I don't necessarily care losing about. I would love to avoid all casualties if possible, but at the same time, I don't necessarily want to risk my higher level people. We're going to go ahead and embark. There's nothing really else for us to do. These buildings are going to be my primary concern to upgrade, and they're still locked. The stagecoach, now here I guess we could talk about, you could upgrade this a bit further. I would eventually like to get this upgrade. The way that I play, again, is I don't abuse the recruits and just get them stressed out, toss them, and then grab a bunch of new ones. So I don't really need more than 4 per week. Having more than 4 does increase. It doesn't guarantee that you're going to get better people. It just gives you more people, so there's a higher chance that someone will be what you're looking for, if you're looking for something in particular. But I'm more concerned about the barracks upgrades. Right now, I don't need them. Next week, I will, because I do want to get more people. Assuming this doesn't go terribly wrong, and I don't need the barracks upgrade. But for now, let's just embark, see what we got here. So we have a cleanse. It's medium. Cleanse means you have to complete all the room battles. Yes. Complete all the room battles. I actually prefer medium and long runs to short runs. I think short runs are harder because you don't get to camp. Camping is not anything I've discussed, obviously, because we haven't been able to do it. But now we do have the option, and I believe I will take the option. So these two are both medium. We have an Explore and a Cleanse. Oh, I'm so sorry for that. Turn off my phone. Yeah, hopefully that won't bother us again. So again, Explore, you have to explore 90% of the rooms. Cleanse, you have to do 100% of room battles. It's arguable which one's easier or harder. I don't know. Personally, I don't really care. I think I'm just going to go ahead. I mean, they're the same length and the same dungeon type, so they're going to give identical rewards. I'm going to take the Cleanse just because I like fighting, generally speaking. So I'm going to take our new Hellion over here. I would like to level her as quickly as possible. She will most likely become one of my main people, assuming nothing bad happens to her. I'm going to take a moment to do this. So that reordered the skills. As I mentioned in the previous video, I do like to use the keybinds, and I have kind of a standard layout for each class, so it's easier for me to just quickly go through the battles. I hope I'm not going through them too quickly. Hopefully you guys are finding the speed that I go through the combat adequate enough. This guy, I can't really do anything with his skills because his skills suck. I'm not going to use them. I'll probably end up getting rid of this guy. So I'm just going to take Renald. Or actually, I'm going to put Renald in the second rank because she does have Iron Swan, which allows her to target the back rank, but only from the front rank. It is an extremely, situational skill. I may never end up using it, but having her in the first rank gives me the option, so I'll take the option. And now I'm going to go ahead and go with this composition. This, I feel a little bit weaker because I don't have a Vestal and I have to rely on the Occultist instead. So taking my 2 stronger guys makes me feel a lot better about that. For these skills, I'm going to go ahead and do this again. I believe I'll go here 3 and I'll put this up 4. Okay, so unfortunately I don't have Dark Strength, which is a camping skills. Camping skills now do come into question because we can camp. Well, can't really do anything about that. Let's get going. Now, we can camp. I would like to feast. I'm gonna go 12. This may seem excessive, and most likely will be excessive. But again, I prefer to over-prepare to under-prepare. I'll take 2 shovels. We may need them. I'll take 1 key. I'll take 1 bandage since we might be inflicting bleeds on ourselves. Torches. I will still use torches. I'll go ahead and take 6. That should be enough. I think I really didn't even use half of the ones I took in the last one, but that's okay. And, you know, I'll take 1 holy water. This should be more than adequate. I will most likely try to camp early on, but if that doesn't happen, I mean,
the fiends must be driven back, and what better place to begin than the seat of our noble line?
I'm not really sure which is the seat of his noble line because he says that in different dungeons, it seems, but okay, whatever. So as I said, I'll probably try to camp early on. My custom is to look for a fight so I take a little bit of damage and then I can benefit from the camping. Iron Maiden. This requires the herbs to properly interact with it. I don't have herbs. I'm just going to go ahead. If there is anyone that already has claustrophobia, I would use them, but since there isn't, I'll just use him. We got lucky, there's no disease or anything, so we just got a bit of loot. Not very much, but better than trap. Speaking of traps,
Cruel machinations spring to
I have
life.
weird luck with that
With a
sometimes.
singular purpose.
Go ahead and torch up and walk into a room and see what we got. We got a fight. They are surprised, that's very nice. I am going to go ahead and pull the Arbalist. Now, this means that the Arbalist cannot use his shooting ability. It might actually even mean that the soldier cannot do anything. He might not be able to reach anyone or use any of his abilities from the 3rd rank. So let's just go with that. We missed the first guy, but hit the other 2 pretty hard. I could break through and try to finish these guys, but I'm not going to go ahead and do that because it does debuff her. I'm just going to see if if I kill this guy, I would bring her back in. Just going to smack this guy. I'm not going to do anything at all. Okay, so I guess I'm just going to try to AoE. Oh, that's unfortunate. 1 HP. Run for the old gods. Thankfully, we resisted the bleed by a head stab, so not too much damage. And now, hopefully, this guy finishes. Awesome. So he killed both of those 2. Now, I could try to finish this guy. It's a 78% chance to hit, and most likely would. But I'm going to go ahead and heal. He resisted the bleed and healed himself 5. That is perfect. So now she's going to pull him. That's not terrible, I guess. Except that this guy can't. Oh, this is... Okay, that is terrible. Because if I move this guy forward, then the Hellion is going to find herself in the same problem that he was. So I'm actually going to go ahead and skip the Crusader's turn. That's going to give him a bit of stress, but the thing is, the Hellion was going to go next, so if I move the Crusader forward, then the Hellion can't use... You know, she could probably... Yeah, she can break through from any position, but I don't necessarily want to use that. I don't want to give her the debuff right now.
As the fiend falls,
So, it's not anymore. Yeah. I'm going to go ahead and finish the fight. I could try to move the Highwayman back and then move the Crusader forward and just prolong this all day. But instead, I'm just going to go for the kill. I'm going to... The Crusader should be able to finish her off, so I'm just going to go ahead and try to heal. Thank you, Untitled Light, heal 3, the bleed. She could break through, but I'm not going to. The debuff would probably wear off before I did anything, but there's no need to risk that. I can just have the Crusader and finish it. Now, if you're wondering why I used Stunning Blow there, obviously I didn't need to stun her, but I didn't need a terrible amount of damage since she already had the bleed. And Stunning Blow has a higher base accuracy, as you can see, 80, 80, and 85. So that I tend to do that a lot, just use the higher accuracy ability to finish off a weakened target. We didn't finish the fight with very much damage, so I'm going to go ahead and keep going. Confession Booth, you can use holy water on this, I believe, to reduce stress. That's not necessary right now, so instead I think I'm going to go ahead and take the risk and possibly increase someone's stress. I'm going to have him use the Confession Booth, there's a chance that he could remove a negative quirk. Awesome. Dysmomania we go. Okay. I was hoping it would be Kleptomaniac, but apparently, he has a fair few manias to work on, or had. Kleptomania is worse, I believe, because he steals the loot, he doesn't just open it. But anyway, this can give you a positive quirk or a map. I'm gonna go ahead and see if I can give her a positive quirk. That'd be pretty nice. Okay. Oh, that is not a positive quirk. So she gets minus stresses as no one, so that's not good. Alright, something I sometimes forget to do, and this is important to not forget, is to rearrange your party between fights if they got moved. Very important. So, Grape Shot Glass, as you can probably have noticed if you didn't already know, is very useful, very reliable skill. This could finish him, or it could do absolutely nothing. I will do this. I'm gonna use the stun. Oh, probably shouldn't. But again, higher accuracy, does less damage, but the idea is if he survives, he's hopefully stunned, but that guy survived and did get stunned, so whatever. It worked out fine, I think. I believe I'm gonna go ahead and camp. I don't need it right now, but let's do it. I'm tempted to feast, even though.
It's a goal without hope.
Now here I could just use 2 food. I don't really need the healing. That's 1 HP missing, 3 HP missing. That's not the end of the world. I could go to the other extreme and feast, which would be massive healing wasted, but the minus 10 stress relief. I'm sorry, is something that might be helpful. I'm gonna go ahead and do the feast. It maybe saved me a bit of gold in town, and I did bring the food intending to do a feast, so I might as well, right? But the more important part, at least to me, of camping is the buffing. Clean Guns is an amazing buff. It only works for ranged, but as you have probably noticed, I tend to just shoot things, so that's fine by me. Hellions, Sharpened Spear, awesome ability. 10% crit. Especially if you're doing dark runs, obviously, and you get even more crit. But I mean, 10% crit is always welcome. Oh shoot! I could have saved the food and just had him do this. But honestly, it doesn't strictly speaking matter. I don't really have anything to do. I'm gonna do this because I have no scouting and I'm not really sure what to do anyway. And I might as well just finish burning a bit more stress on these 2 guys. Unfortunately, when it says all companions, it doesn't actually work on them. Like the person who uses it. But better than nothing, I suppose. Unfortunately, early on, you don't have the greatest control over which camping skills your characters have. And we're getting ambushed. So you kind of got to make do with what you got. Now, this could be a potentially dangerous fight. We could just waste everything we just did. Because, I mean, these are very dangerous enemies, but not very dangerous. You know what I'm saying. Unfortunately, he can't AoE. I'm just going to try to shoot down these guys as quickly as possible. Black fire. Of course. Now, I know for a fact that on the way back, I'm not going to have anything, so I think I'm going to go ahead and break through. That's pretty weak damage. I was hoping she might kill the Fusilier, but no such luck. I think I'm going to use this. I could heal. No, they already went. I'm gonna go ahead. Oh no, I can't heal. I could have her move back. Which, yeah, you know, I'm gonna do that. Because he can't heal from that position and she can only break through from that position and just keep stacking debuffs on herself. Not a great way to start this fight, I gotta say, but yeah, there is some RNG. Not everything goes your way. I'm gonna go ahead and stick to the original plan and try to finish that guy off. Now, I will go ahead and heal himself. Resisted the bleed, healed himself for 3. That's decent. She did debuff herself, unfortunately, but yeah, you see, now she has a very low chance of actually finishing these guys. Well, this guy's more likely has less HP. Whoa. I'm sorry I ever doubted you. Ever doubted you. Words are hard sometimes, I apologize. Great, so the Crusader killed him, now this guy's the only one left, and from this rank he cannot do his AoE. That rush shot ability, sometimes it will, sometimes it seems to have a low accuracy, but, well, that's kind of anecdotal evidence at best, I guess. As you probably noticed, I did stun this guy and try to do a bit of stalling to hopefully heal some more. Hopefully it works out. It could, yeah, if this hat lands, yeah, thankfully she dodged it, but if that had landed, it was likely that I essentially wasted my time by wasting time and trying to get another heal loss since I just took the damage again.
The light, the promise of safety.
So now we'll just backtrack a bit. I do like to go for 100% completion on dungeons. So this one is looking like it might be a long one. Hopefully, I mean, let me know. How do you guys feel about the video lengths? Like, do you want, strictly speaking, lower length videos, or does that not bother you? I mean, if you like the content, are you okay with the longer length videos? Do you want me to just try to keep everything to like around 30 minutes or so? Let me know what kind of what's your preference, what you would like to see. I can't promise that I'll be able to keep every video down to 30 minutes. Obviously, as you probably have noticed by now, I do kind of like to talk, maybe a bit too much. I could try to make the strategy talk in town a bit brief. Maybe if I get a lot of people saying that they don't want to see any of the town stuff, I could skip that entirely. Well, let me know. We'll see what happens. I do, as I've said in my Swine God video, I am very much new to all this YouTube recording Let's Play stuff. So I do hope to improve with time. Hopefully I do. And with your help, that should be easier. So, give me some feedback. I am open to it. Just try to keep it civil.
So too will
And I'll
resistance.
do my best to listen to you guys. So, locked sarcophagus. So, a key is exactly what this needs, as you might guess from the
Finding
locked.
the stuff is only the first
Pardon me.
test. Now it must be carried home.
Sun Cloak. This is an interesting item. Light above 75, you get plus 8 protection and dodge. That's actually pretty strong, but then like below 25, you get minus dodge. In this run, at least, we will be using... I mean, I do intend to keep the light up pretty high, so I'm just going to go ahead and give it to the Crusader. Oh, we got scouting. Awesome. We've been getting very little. Because there's a treasure room and a fight up there. Let's go that way. Yeah, this fight's pretty easy. And they get surprised, so I expect them to do absolutely nothing.
Be gone, fiend.
Oh. So she resisted the blight, but the heal was 0. The buff should be gone by the time I get to the... Ooh, never mind. She's just gonna miss. I was gonna try to finish it, but... She's missing a lot. So he's gonna go stabby, but he misses 2. So we're healed. Are you serious? Resisted and healed again, dude. Not sure what the odds of that are, but okay. I mean, I'm not complaining that she resisted the bleed, don't get me wrong.
Is a slow and insidious killer.
So we got books. Early on, I do like the books. I'll give it to her. Oh, stress. That's unfortunate. Wait. Oh no, that didn't give me stress. I just lowered the light. I am perfectly okay with that. I'm pretty sure it can give you stress, but apparently I can just lower the light instead. Spiders! Awesome, they get surprised. Actually, you know, that buff that we did on the Ironman, the increase the surprise chance, is paying off on this run at least. Obviously, it's all random, but on this run, it's paying off well. The spitters, in my opinion, are a lot more dangerous than the webbers, so I tend to try to focus them down. A third time, resisted lead and 0 heal. And this, my friends, is why I like Hellions.
Well struck.
Oh, this and many more reasons.
A singular strike.
Let's just say that there's a lot to like about Hellions. Please don't nerf them again. I mean, yeah, honestly speaking, they maybe are a little bit too strong still, even after the nerf. Because later on, I'm missing one of the skills that I really like, which is if it bleeds. It's basically a slightly more accurate version of this that does has a reduced chance to crit, but it has a chance to inflict a bleed. The Hellions are just generally very, very strong. And Breakthrough is still extremely strong, even if it does debuff her.
Packs laden with loot are often low on supplies.
There has been some discussion, you know, is the game too hard, is the game too easy? Personally, I think it's okay. I don't think it's terribly hard. Okay, it's not that hard. It's not terribly easy. I think it's just an okay difficulty setting. I think I would welcome a harder one, truth be told. Alright, so finally you healed her. Congratulations. Thank you. I would welcome a higher difficulty setting, and from reading the forums, it sounds like a lot of people would welcome a lower difficulty setting. Yeah, we're not gonna use Vintage. It's 2 damage. Stop whining. I'll break through. Finish this guy. Almost finished this one. For the same reason, I'll AoE again. You know, split the damage a bit. So yeah, some people would welcome a lower difficulty setting. Personally, I'm not all opposed to them getting it.
Only treasure could staunch the flow of
You know,
other worlds.
I played a ton of RPGs. I've played a lot of games like XCOM, which are somewhat similar to this game. It's like another heavy RNG squad-based game. So I'm used to all this stuff, and I didn't find the game terribly difficult, but maybe some other people obviously did. So go ahead. I'm not entirely, or rather, I encourage the adding of difficulty options. So I'm not really going to get too much more into that. There was already a giant thread on the forums, the Steam forums, that is. Feel free to go read that if you're interested. But I'll just leave it at that for now. Oh, actually, I think I made a mistake. No, all is well. I thought I had made a mistake coming down here because there's a wall, but I do have a shovel left. Hopefully there won't be any more walls.
Even the cold stone seems bent on preventing passage.
And I completely forgot about the lights. You know what? I'm okay with it. Warren's full. Let's try this again. Awesome. Thank you. That is exactly what I wanted. So we got rid of the Warren's Foe that I believe she picked up from an earlier confession booth. Oh well. So see, I did bring a lot of food, but medium dungeons are longer. I left the light at dark. Let's see how that goes. I could just pump up the light now. There shouldn't be anything stopping me from doing that, but this should be fine. Being in the dark does massively increase your stress, your chance of being surprised, which is bad because I don't have any scouting, and it increases monster accuracy and damage, but as you can see, much more loot and more crits. Generally speaking, I do like dark runs. Personally, I find like the plus monster damage is something like 20% extra damage from the monsters. I don't know if the official data is available somewhere, but kind of we estimate that it's like 20% bonus damage. I think that doesn't really negate, like that's not enough of a threat to stop me personally from using dark runs, at least most of the time, and a lot of people will feel the same way. We'll go ahead and heal this guy. I'm gonna go ahead and move him because he can't do anything from the back row, and all of this fight's probably gonna be over before any of that matters.
Wealth beyond measure.
I hope I'm not, like, I am trying to speed through the run a little bit because I know the video, like, the time is getting a little bit long, and again, I don't want to harp on that too much.
Gold, trinkets,
but I hope that you guys are okay with the speed that I'm going. Again, let me know in the comments how you feel about it. We're at a bit of a problem that I'm not sure what to take. Should I take the money? You know what? I'm gonna go ahead and dump these torches. We're gonna finish this run in the dark. I will. Let's go see what's over here. Oh no. Shoot. We don't have a shovel. Okay, I'm gonna backtrack. You can backward. You can backward. I don't even know English. How do you? You can walk backwards, is what I've been trying to say, and it does give you a higher chance to get stress. But in that scenario, I think it's well worth the risk because I don't have a shovel, which means I'll take a massive amount of damage. It's like 20% damage to all your characters, and a fair bit of stress as well. So I think it's better to just walk backwards. Oh, you gotta bleed. That's not good. So essentially, I bled for 3, healed for 4. I only healed for 1. Not. Oh, come on. The accuracy of level 1 is painful. These guys aren't terribly scary, truth be told. So I took the increased stress from walking backwards, but I think it's well worth it. Resistant and heal for 9. Now that is why some people say that the occultist is the best healer because he can do. Whoa, that's a lot of gold. Okay, no, I'll use advantage. And I'll dump. What do I dump? I want to take everything. I don't have enough hands. I'll dump these. The jades only stack up to 4, and it's 250 each, so gold itself stacks up to 1500, so I'll just take that instead. That's kind of the conundrum of running dark dungeons. You have a bit too much loot. You don't know what to do with it. Okay, this isn't too bad. It will mean some stress, but I mean, as you can see, we're getting a pretty good haul from all this. So we can pay for stress if need be. That's okay. We'll continue to try to heal everyone up. Or not. Okay, do not kill Dismas. If you're gonna kill somebody, kill the occultist. Oh, come on. This Hellion, man. I swear. She needs to reopen her eyes or something. She's not doing all that great. Alright. Stress is starting to pile on. Knife in the dark. We're starting to take some damage. It's starting to get a bit concerning. But there's an empty room and 2 unknown rooms left. Should be fine. Are you serious? Let's do this, girl. I'll do a heal. I'll try to. I'll do a stun, and I'll try to do a heal. Go ahead and take aim. Hopefully, like if you use buffs, I think it has a reduced chance to stress people out. But you don't want to do it too long. You don't want to try to stall too much. People will get stressed. Not good. And this occultist is also. He insists on just healing people for absolutely nothing. Huh. I am very tempted to. I should have realized this before, but I want to go back for those 2 chests. Although saying that, I just realized that my inventory is almost completely full, so I'm probably wasting my time. But it's loot, man. How can you pass up the loot? Another 100 red. Okay, now things are getting worrisome because I do not have enough food for another one. Map pack, awesome. Okay. I mean, we have the quest complete, so I can dip at any time I want, which might actually be very soon. Oh, another map. Thank you. Yeah, we already had the full map scouted, so not the most useful thing I've ever seen. I'm trying to click on the second room really good. It's not how it works. So there's actually a trap in either direction that I go, and then another container. I'm just gonna go ahead and grab those containers as quickly as possible. But what do we got? No more map space. Okay, some more heirlooms. One portrait. You know what? I'm gonna dump the food because if I get a hunger event, I don't have enough anyway. So here, you get some. I'll take the portrait. Portraits are kind of annoying because they only stack up to 3. I'm gonna go this way because I can do. I'm probably not gonna go to the last room. I can get hit by a trap.
Ambushed by foul invention.
I swear, does it sound like he's saying bowel invention? Like, you know, your stomach, or is it supposed to be foul with an F? It always sounds to me like he's saying bowel. Here, I'll take the crest over the portraits. I may regret that later, but it's okay. And I'm just gonna wrap this up here. I could go for that one last. Oh, he's gonna steal it anyway. You bastard. Ah, you just get a map. Okay, so yeah, I'm gonna wrap this up here. I could go for that other container, but I probably wouldn't be able to carry what's in it anyway, so you know what? This is good enough. I'd say that went pretty well.
We reclaim what is ours.
Yeah, I'd say that went pretty well indeed. 13k gold plus 4.5k from the quest rewards, a few heirlooms from the quest rewards, and a bunch that we carried. So yeah, I'd say that went pretty well indeed. I was actually, I mean, I was slightly worried because I couldn't bring, you know, my pistols, which are very dear to my heart. Let me tell you, if you've seen my older save, you've probably seen my clone army.
I fear his long-standing duties here have affected him.
Towards a caretaker, indeed. So we have the Vestal reduce her stress. Doing pretty well on stress, I gotta say. The blacksmith is unlocked. The guild is not unlocked. The wield has been unlocked. Awesome. That's a lot of unlocks. Alright. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and conclude here. Thank you very much for watching. My name has been Robin, and may you have a very lovely evening.